Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Stoveside Chats. My name is Chad Blackwelder from the North Carolina Department of Agriculture. Thanks for tuning in today. I've got Chef Jake Wood of Lawrence Barbecue, who'll be joining us today. Waiting to see his handle show up here. Hopefully he'll be with us in just a few minutes. Next week, I'm going to have farmer Tommy Wheeler on the show. Not sure if you guys are aware of this, but we are growing Carolina gold rice in North Carolina now. And Tommy Wheeler of Tidewater Grain Company in Oriental, North Carolina, will be joining us and talking about they've harvested their first season of rice, so we'll see how that's going for them. All right, just checking the handles here. Hey, Gordon Murray Anderson. Hello, Laughing Spell. Thank you guys for joining in and waving. Just waiting for Chef Jake Wood to join us. Hopefully he'll be here in just a few. So let's see, some other guests we have lined up for later in the week, or later in the month rather, is so we have Tommy Wheeler, who will be joining us next week, and then Chef Warren of Chef Warren's Bistro in Southern Pines. Chef Ashley Bivens Boyd of 300 East in Charlotte will be joining us. And also my good friend, Chef Bobby Zimmerman, who has a really great restaurant in Wilmington called True Blue Butcher and Table. He'll be joining us and talking about some cool stuff that he's been up to. All right. Thanks for everybody who's joining us. We're just waiting on Chef Wood to get here. Hopefully he'll be here in just a few seconds. Just kind of scrolling through. There he is. At Real Jake Wood is joining us. Hey, Chef.
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I hope you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome.
You sound good. Yep.
Good deal.
So how you been?
Not too bad, man. Just getting back in town from Nashville. Kind of taking a few days to get some family time in. My little boy is turning 1 tomorrow, so after that, we're gonna kind of get geared back up to jump back into curbside.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, congratulations on your boy's birthday tomorrow. I enjoy your family pictures that you post on Facebook, man. You got a beautiful growing family. It's nice to see that.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your background, man. How did you get started in cooking, and what led you to where you are today?
Well, I was running my dad's landscaping business, and we built Arnold Palmer Golf Course. We were living there for probably 3.5 years down in Maryhill, North Carolina, out in Albemarle Sound. And we basically, the recession hit in 2008, and that work stopped. And he got me a job at 42nd Street Oyster Bar. He knew the guys down there, Hunter and Mr. Hurley. And I started working there shucking oysters, and really liked the vibe of the kitchen and the whole scene that was going on back there. So I just kind of talked to the chef and asked him, hey man, next time you got it open in the kitchen, I'd love to slide back there. And I did, and really fell in love with it, and worked my way up, learned the ins and outs of the oyster bar, and was able to move on from there to Charlie Goodnight's and kind of help them with their food program. That's where I met my wife, actually. And then we spent a few years trying to start a family, and I helped her mom open a restaurant down in Salisbury. We lived there for a couple years, and I came back here, man. I started working with the cowfish, and learned how to roll sushi, and ended up being the head sushi chef there, breaking down big tuna fish and salmon all day long, which was really cool. I learned a lot. I love seafood, so that was a great position. And then from there, I kind of bounced over to Raleigh Raw, which was a little bit different. I helped them create their food program, which is kind of a pokey-driven food program to match with their juices and their healthy grab-and-go menu. And then I was at 18 Seaboard for quite some time, working with Chef Jason Smith, and really kind of made the most impact I think I've been able to in my career working under Jason. He was kind enough to kind of provide a platform for me to grow and to stretch my legs a little bit, I guess I can say, to find out what it was I could do or wanted to do in the sense of a menu program. So that was a whole lot of fun. I met a lot of great people there. I met Eddie there. I hired him as my sous chef, and now Eddie is going to be our chef de cuisine at Lawrence Barbecue. So that, he's a young, very driven young man, workhorse, and so we're excited to get him in there leading our kitchen. I think it's gonna be a great opportunity for him and a great opportunity for us to have somebody like that leading our kitchen. So that's where we're at, man. Kind of been working at it, fingers to the grindstone for the past 10 plus years, and it's all kind of been to get to this point where I can smoke barbecue meats and support my family doing so.
That's a beautiful thing, man. So yeah, Jason Smith and I, we worked together a long time ago at Magnolia Grill. But speaking of
Nice.
Jason, yeah. Now speaking of Jasons, you were working for another Jason this past Fourth of July weekend.
Yeah,
Nashville, right?
man. We
Tell us about it.
we did a pop up down in Nashville with Matt Bolus and his group at the 404 Kitchen. They own a few restaurants down there: Primrose, Adele's, Emmy Squared, 404 Kitchen, Gertie's Bourbon Bar. So we hung out with them the whole week, and he does some things like that from time to time. He's connected down there in Nashville and gets calls like that from time to time. And just so happened that they really wanted our barbecue menu that we were serving at 404. So it worked out. He asked me if I was interested in doing an event with him on Saturday with the guys. And I said, sure, yeah. And he said, well, it's at Jason Aldean's house. So we got to be on our P's and Q's. And so it was cool, man. Jason and his wife, Brittany, were very, very nice people. They have a beautiful home. It's brand new. I think it took them like 2 years to build. It's, nothing like I've ever seen in my life. But, yeah, we were able to pull the smoker right up next to the pool and smoke a good barbecue for the 4th of July party they had. And very thankful for the opportunity to meet those new folks and network and, most of all, just share our barbecue and our food with other folks and other places, man. That's kind of one of our big goals, is just to see how far out we can spread this Lawrence barbecue vibe. And we're off to a good start by way of making friends like Matt Bolus down in Nashville. That's connecting us with the top charting or the chart topping country singers like that, man. But it was really cool. It's a cool experience.
Well, thanks for representing North Carolina, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Tell us about Lawrence Barbecue. Where are you guys at Lawrence Barbecue? Tell us about the concept, the name, all that good stuff.
Sure. So Lawrence is my family's last name. It's my mother's maiden name. My grandfather, Alan Lawrence, taught me a whole lot about, just the ins and outs of Southern food, Southern traditions, things he grew up doing, butchering hogs, butchering fish, butchering deer, things like that. He had, an immaculate green thumb. He had an immaculate heirloom garden. He was an incredible waterman that just was bled North Carolina deep. So my grandmother's still around. She is alive and well, still cooking great meals, and she's kind of been the influence on the culinary side. And as I've gotten older, a lot of these things that I thought were weird traditions or weird responsibilities, like shucking corn or shelling peas, stuff like that. I've come to appreciate the time I was able to spend with her doing that as a kid and learning about, where she came from and the rural upbringing that she's from and my grandfather's from. I think that a lot of that goes into what I do now, which is why we're calling this Lawrence Barbecue. It's our family name. I actually named my son Lawrence after my grandfather. There's not too many more Lawrences. Obviously, I'm a Wood. I think, once my uncle's out of here, there won't be any more Lawrences. to carry on the name. So Lawrence is my son's name. We just kind of wanted to pay tribute to my family, our family, and the traditions that we have, both in food and just, Southern traditions in general that I think I'd like to try to carry on and share with other people. It's a goal of mine to have a cookbook come out someday that's basically sharing our family stories and family recipes and traditions, that include cuisine from coastal cuisine all the way up to the mountains and Appalachian style cuisine and recipes that date back 250 years. So that's kind of where the concept comes from and the ground to stand on, I guess you could say. But our concept is barbecue, oysters, and beverages, man, and we're gonna do just that. We're gonna, be real simple with it. All wood fire smoked meats. We'll have 3 big offset smokers. We're doing pork butts, doing briskets, ribs. We'll make our own sausages. We'll be doing turkey breast, whole birds. The whole works, whole spectrum on the smoked meats. But we're gonna have fun with our small plates and our sides. We're gonna be very conscious of how we source these. Locally sourced, seasonally inspired menu is gonna be. Nothing's changed on that part. We're still gonna be going down that road. But yeah, pretty small menu. Barbecue, some sides, small plates, large plates, and then we'll have a couple oyster selections. We're going to be using Adam Tyler's Core Sound oysters for our broilers and barbecue oysters, and then we'll be using Connor and Alyssa's NC Oyster Company Divine Pines for our raw applications. So we feel good about the food program. We are moving things along on the build out as fast as we can. We've had some delays, and some of that's been caused by the situation that we're in here with this COVID. But at the same time, it's also give us an opportunity to introduce our brand and our food here to the city of Raleigh through our commissary kitchen, which we are starting back up. Curbside queue for a little summer session on July 27th. We have not set the hours yet or the menu yet, but we're going to have a fun little summer menu. We're going to really gear it towards people kind of picking that stuff up. Family style platters, picnic platters, stuff like that. Just really encouraging folks to come grab some Q, get outside in the fresh air, be socially distant and responsible. But take this time to enjoy a nice meal with family or friends. And we'll have the usual suspects on there, the sandwiches and some of the sides that people have come to like over the past couple months. But that's where we're at, man. Lawrence Barbecue, like I said, is barbecue, oysters, and beverages. We're going to have about a 35-seat restaurant with a smokehouse out back, have a nice little garden for our peppers and okra, during the season. And we'll grow, try to grow some fresh herbs out there and whatnot, some kale during the wintertime, just to be, learning about that stuff, using it in the restaurant, and trying to work sustainably on that front. But we're excited, man. When they tell us we can get into the restaurant, that's when we'll be there, and I really can't say when that's going to be. I'm hoping it's October, but you and I know it's pretty big unknown about what this virus is going to do. Talking about a second wave coming back around in the fall, so we are just in the moment, in the day, trying to make sure we're making the best decisions and the most responsible decisions. And at the end of the day, we want to focus most on where we can best insert our effort here in the community. That's what's important to us. So we've got some things we're working on. We're trying to create some opportunities for us to get involved with some community efforts. One of which is going to hopefully be able to land some sanitary hand wash stations in some of the higher traffic homeless areas in downtown. So wrapping that into our curbside and kind of just trying to stay busy, man. That's the name of the game right now. Stay busy.
Well, you answered a lot of the questions I had with your description of Lawrence Barbecue. I appreciate that. I do have one more question. We got about a minute left, but let me ask you this. Your style of cooking is a lot like mine. Kind of, the Southern foodways and those traditions are really, really important. How do you balance that with being a chef and working in some new angles and new influences without getting too far from home?
Yeah, I think the best thing about it for me is that I do not play by any rules, man. I haven't worked for any like Michelin star chefs or James Beard, you know, like I've always kind of just found the best way to get to the end result. And that's our motto, man. We have fun with it. We try to have fun with our sourcing. We just want to make sure at the end of the day that it looks good, and then most importantly, it's delicious. You know, there's no rules about that. So we try to just have fun, get creative, you know, see what we can do with the knife, how we can cut things differently, you know, how we can present things differently, how we might be able to cook things differently. But still, at the end of the day, we want that comfortable flavor, that homey flavor that is so memorable every time I take a bite of something. You know, every time I have a meal at my grandma's meal or at my grandma's table, it's something I remember. And when I taste things like we had a meal in Nashville, and I closed my eyes, and it was just that old school flavor, man. That's what we're going for. And it's low and slow. A lot of things are going to take a lot of time, but you know, I think that just the fact that we're really not taking this too seriously, man. All we want is delicious food, and we're all going to work on the same page and same wavelength to make sure that's what we're producing. So that's the theory. We'll see how it works, man. But you know, I've never really had too many rhymes or reasons to what I do. It's just been fun, you know, to do it and to teach other people and kind of inspire them to say, hey, you know, it's not all about what's in the pages and what's on the recipe books. A lot of it's up here, and it just takes a little bit more work, maybe, you know, getting to the end product. But yeah, that we're just not going to take it too seriously, man. We're going to make sure that we stick to our roots, stick to our flavors, and hopefully let that speak for itself.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's kind of neat. Like in my fridge, I'm sure like yours, you'll find miso right next to the Duke's mayonnaise. You know, kind of use those different ingredients to, you know,
Sure.
like you said, something kind of cool and different, but still it reminds you of those flavors growing up in the South. So, look, man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you're doing. I know you're staying super busy right now. And folks out there, be on the lookout for more of Jake Wood and Lawrence Barbecue. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Be safe.
Talk to you soon.
Later.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. It was Chef Jake Wood of Lawrence Barbecue. Google Lawrence Barbecue. Check them out on Facebook. They're staying busy doing a lot of cool stuff. They're going to be out in the RTP area of Wake County. So thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with Tommy Wheeler of Tidewater Grain Company talking about North Carolina grown Carolina Gold rice. Thank you.